everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have this look that is inspired by Deepika's makeup in the song Raabta from the movie Raabta. So I absolutely loved how gorgeous she looked. Her makeup was just flawless. So I tried to recreate it. This is definitely not exactly like her, but it's kind of like my version of it. And by the way, if you guys are interested in this dress that I'm wearing, I would put the link to this website down below in the description box. So please do go check it out. So if you want to see how I created this look, then please keep on watching. So I'm starting off my makeup with my Smashbox Photofinish Primer Water, and I'm just spraying it all over my face. Then I'm using my Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer mainly on my nose and around that area because I have some texture issues there, and I also apply a little bit underneath my eyes just to prevent my concealer from creasing. Then I'm using another primer, and this is the Loreal Lumi Magique Primer, and I'm mainly using this on the outer perimeter of my face to give some glow from within look. Then I'm using my NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector underneath my eyes just to get rid of the dark circles and the discoloration, and also a little bit around my mouth and all other areas where I have some darkness. For my foundation, I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation, and I'm in the shade Y345, and at first I'm dotting it all over my face using my finger, and then I'm gonna use a wet beauty blender to blend it out. Make sure you take the foundation down onto your neck as well so that it doesn't look like you're wearing a mask. For my concealer today, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade Medium. So I'm just applying it in a triangular shape underneath my eyes to hide my dark circles as well as highlight a little bit. And also I'm applying on my nose bridge, chin and forehead, and also any other blemishes or dark spots that I have on my face. So then I'm just blending it out using the same beauty blender. I've also applied a little bit of the concealer around my mouth as well because I was having some darkness there as well. And then to set my concealer, I'm using the Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm applying it to all those areas where I've applied the concealer. This step is mainly done to set the concealer so that it doesn't crease throughout the day. And to set my foundation in place, I'm using my MAC Studio Fix powder. This is in the shade NC35. Next, to contour, today I'm using this sleek highlight and contour duo. This is in the shade Medium, I believe, and with an Elysium brush, I'm applying it to the hollows of my cheekbones. For this look, I wanted a strong contour, that's why I'm using this flat, thin sort of a brush. And I'm also applying a little bit on my jawline as well as the sides of my nose and the edge of my forehead. To contour my nose further, I'm using this thin Real Techniques brush, which is basically a foundation brush, and I'm just applying a little bit of the contouring shade on the edges of my nose as well as the tip. Then for my blush, I'm using this Morphe 9B blush palette, and from there I've taken that light mauve neutral sort of a color and I'm applying it on my cheekbones. And to highlight my face, today I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is in the shade Champagne Pop. So I'm applying the highlight on the tops of my cheekbones as well as a little bit on my temple, my chin, my nose bridge and my forehead. Oh, and also a little bit on the Cupid's bow. You just can't forget the Cupid's bow. And then to set my whole base makeup, I'm using my MAC Fix Plus. For my brows today, I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. In this video, Deepika seems to have really strong and dark eyebrows. That's why I chose to go with a pomade instead of like a regular powder or a pencil. So I'm just filling in the sparse areas of my brows and just making it more defined and strong. And then I'm just brushing out the brow hairs with a spoolie to blend out the color evenly. To make my eyebrows stand out even more and look clean, I'm using a little bit of the concealer to carve my brows out. And then to set my brow hairs in place, I'm using my Loreal Brow Stylist Plumper. This is in the shade Medium Dark. And now it's time for the eyes. So at first I've taken the shade called Bay from my Huda Beauty palette, and with a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush, I'm applying it all over my eyes just to set the concealer that I had applied earlier. Then I'm taking the shade Sandalwood with my Morphe E23 brush and I'm applying it all over my crease. Then I'm using Makeup Geek Glamorous for a very light and natural wash of gold all over my eyelid. Then I'm going back to the Huda Beauty palette and I'm taking this shade called Cocoa with this angled thin liner brush, and I'm just applying it close to my lashes, like kind of like a wing liner look. This step isn't that important, you can totally skip it, but I did it because I felt it would help blend out the black liner better. So then I've used my Inglot gel liner, and with a Morphe angle liner brush, I'm drawing a very thin line across my lash line, and I'm also creating a very small wing. This line doesn't have to be that precise because we are going to blend it out eventually. Next I'm taking the shade Black Truffle with a smudging brush and I'm just going over the black liner that I had applied earlier just to smoke it out and make it more soft. Just try to blend out the liner so that you can't see any harsh line. Next I'm using my Alex Evian waterproof kohl pencil and my waterline. And I'm also applying a little bit on my lower lash line as well. And then with the same black eyeshadow, I'm again smudging it out. Make sure there's no harsh line. And to blend it out further, I'm using the shade Sandalwood with another smudging brush and just smoking out my lower lash line even more. And then for my mascara, I'm using this L'Oreal Voluminous False Fiber Lashes Mascara on both my top and bottom lashes. Then I've applied this Ardell Studio Effects Timmy Wispies lashes, and to highlight my inner corner, I'm again using Becca Champagne Pop, and I'm also applying a little bit on my brow bone just to get that glowy effect that Deepika has. And for my lipstick, at first I've applied MAC Kinda Sexy, but I wasn't really liking this color because it wasn't like what Deepika had. So on top I'm using MAC Velvet Teddy again. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family so that I can reach more people. And until next time, take care and bye-bye.